Green fodder is an economic source of nutrients for dairy animals. It is highly palatable and digestible. It also helps in maintaining good health and improving breeding efficiency of animals. Increased use of green fodder in the ration of animals may reduce cost of milk production. When it comes to preparing fodder, many farmers use either a panga, placing on the fodder on the feeding trough of the animal, which is risky, or placing on high raised wood, than chopping, which is laborious. Farmers who have limited time to chop the fodder for the animals as they give them as full stalks or in lumps. This leads to wastage of fodder as the animals select on the part they want to consume and leave the rest. As the times changed from manual chopping of fodder, industrialists have tried to come up with fodder choppers made of bladers that can slice the fodder into sizable quarters of the whole stalks and hay. These machines could be either running on electricity or generators.
So right now they are preparing the feeds, the chaff cutter. We are crushing the boma rods. We store them in sacks for feeding the cows. We have not mixed it with anything. Once we have put it in given it to the cows, we are going to sprinkle some unga on top of it, and the cows will eat it.
With improved mechanization rapidly changing in the agricultural sector, dairy farmers now have quick, simple and easier way to slice fodder in small sizes that will be able to be fully consumed by the animal with no wastage in your yard. Today's Mkulima Tech Show comes to you from an advanced mechanization field day held by Massey Ferguson Tractors Company. At this event, an eye-catching machine is running chopping green maize fodder, and it is mesmerizing. Dean, one of the sales representative from FMD, gives a brief on the silage chopper.
We're with the silage chopper, EN12. This is the average or the middle class silage chopper that we have at FMD. It is basically for the average farmer who has below 5 acres of land and who is willing to or is doing a lot of fodder. The machine actually is made in Brazil. It's called the Nogueira EN12. And price-wise to size and all the specifications that the average farmer needs, it's the kind of machine that will be able to give you the correct size of silage chopping, and also it is able to give you a considerable returns for your fodder. The machine itself is able to give you up to 10 tons per 10 tons per hour, if that is what you're looking to do. And with the EN12, you're able to adjust the size of the cuttings on your fodder depending on the size of you need. As you can see on the EN12 here, we have sizes that you can actually adjust the gears so that you can get the size that you want. FMD has been selling Nogueira products for the past 10-15 years, and they have actually helped farmers all over the country. We do support and sales and after sales support on even the equipments and the implements that we sell, so the farmer can actually get return on his investments on the implement.
There are different types of fodder, the green and dry forage. This kind of forages are important to animals. When sized into small pieces, the more the likelihood of the animal consuming it without leftover. The silage chopper displayed at this event only chops the green fodder, which is maize, sorghum and napier.
The chopper itself will do raw, or let me say wet fodder. That is maize. It can do sorghum, it can do napier, but it cannot do dry. The reason why it cannot do dry is because it has smaller gears inside that might choke. Dry fodder might choke the blades inside, but with the wet fodder, that let me call wet fodder, like the maize that is before us, this one is able to first of all ferment and give the cow the enough nutrients it needs, added with supplements that you will put in your fodder or in your silage pit. It is going to give the necessary nutrients that your animals will need for the type of farming that you're doing. That if it's dairy or if it's beef. So it just does wet fodder.
Cutting fodder using a panga takes more time, as one can chop up to 10 kilograms in 1 hour, and yet very risky. This is an advanced silage chopper. It reduces the level of labor by cutting 10 tons of fodder per hour and safe to use. Dean adds that this machine can work the whole day.
The EN12 can do for you 10 tons per hour. You can do the math going forward, so you can work the whole day. The machine needs to run at constant speed of 400 revolutions per minute. That's 540 RPMs. And the best way to use this machine is with a tractor. Yes, you can use it on an electric motor, but you'll have to use it on a 3-phase, which will cost you more on electricity. But if you run a tractor at 540 RPMs, you're able to consume maybe 5 liters per hour, or even less per hour. So yes, it can do for you a lot. On fuel consumption, it will not consume a lot, because now that you are running on a constant speed and working the PTO, you'll be able to get you'll be able to find that the tractor is using less energy or less fuel on that.
It is easy to operate. It has a wide mouth which can take a good chunk of fodder to chop. The knives and blades are well placed in a system that cannot hurt the user.
The EN12 actually is quite easy to operate. First of all, it has a wide mouth, or a wide handler, whereby this is where you feed the EN12. This is a safety feature, so that when even the farmer is feeding in the fodder, his hands can hardly reach the knives that are inside. So actually, when you feed in the fodder, there are teeth that are in here that pull in the fodder, and they find the knives that are always circulating. So as they circulate, they cut, and with that circulation, there is air that is blown outwards, which pushes the fodder out onto whatever place that you're storing the fodder. So that's how simple the machine works. And it is propelled by a PTO, or a shaft there, that turns a flywheel with a belt that turns the knives that cut the fodder. So it's quite a simple machine. And if a farmer wants to actually change the size of the fodder, there are gears that are here that you can interchange to get either 4 inches, 2 inches, 8 inches, and up to 16. So you can change your gears so that you can get the amount, the size of fodder that you're cutting.
The silage chopper can run for a maximum of 2 hours without rest. But when cutting fodder, Dean advises that a farmer should run the machine for 1 hour, then take a break.
With a PTO, you can run a PTO for maximum up to 2 hours. But looking at fodder, you can do fodder for like an hour, and after you've cut, because fodder needs to be stored and pressed into a pit. So you can do it in intervals of 30 minutes, so that you can get enough fodder into your silage pit.
When choosing a power source for silage chopper, ensure that it is affordable and easy to maintain on your farm.
So that the machine can work, you need a power source. As I said, you can either use a 36 horsepower all the way up to 100 horsepower tractor, or if you're using an electric machine, you'll need a three-phase motor. So the three-phase motor will have the enough force to propel the EN12.
Every machine must be well maintained for durability and good service provision. It is mandatory for any farm machinery and input to be well serviced for a longer turn-up productivity on your farm.
All the farmer needs to know is greasing. You have to grease all the gears because it is made out of 100% gears, especially the parts whereby the fodder, where the gears are interchangeable for the size of the fodder. You need to grease it most of the time. And the PTO shaft also needs to be greased because those are moving parts, and when they get dry they tend to overheat and break. So if a farmer keeps the EN12 well greased and well maintained, you shouldn't have a problem for 2-3 years.
We are taking a short commercial break. We will be back with more.